All right.
book ban hoaxes. You issued a statement last week saying the legislature may need to revise the parental rights bill. Escambia County has become the epicenter of northeastern book publishers suing the school district, who says they're just following the state law.
So first of all, what the state law says is it gives the parents the right to object to materials that are not age or developmentally appropriate. And I showed on that video things that nobody would stand in public and defend because it's pornographic. It should not be with minors. And that is, I think, really what we are getting at. What you've had people do for, I think, political reasons is to try to act like the state somehow would mandate that you couldn't have Shakespeare or things like that. That is a hoax. That is false. So what we want to see the legislature do, and the Department of Education can probably do some of this through rulemaking, is to say, if you're somebody that's in the school system and you're taking down books that are valid because you're trying to make a political point and acting like all these books are, quote, being banned when they're not, you're depriving the students of their right to have a good education. And so that's inappropriate. And we've seen that time and time again. You've seen people take down books about like Roberto Clemente and Hank Aaron. There's nothing in Florida law that would say that would be appropriate. Now, granted, all this stuff ultimately is the determination of the school district beyond whatever the state does. But the notion that the state is having anything to do with that is absurd. We've given parents the ability to look at these things that are clearly inappropriate. We have the video. It's online. You can go look at the video. I want someone to come defend why any of that should be in school. You literally have things talking about, you talk about like old people raping like 12-year-olds. Like, that's appropriate for minors. You do have pornographic images in some of these things. You have books talking about telling minors how to do sex apps online. That should not be in the schools. And I think almost everybody agrees with that, except the people that don't agree with it. They don't want to defend on the merits. They want to act like that there's legitimate educational materials that somehow are being targeted, and there's not. So all this stuff that you hear where if they say something, almost always that's something that the state not only is not prescribing, but is recommending. The Roberto Clemente was on the Book of the Month list by the Florida Department of Education. The To Kill a Mockingbird is on our summer reading list for the state of Florida. So stop trying to politicize this. Stop trying to impose your agenda. We all have an interest as parents in wanting the schools to be focusing on the basics and on core academic subjects. Injecting gender ideology, injecting pornographic or adult material is not appropriate. The parents that have blown the whistle on that have used their rights appropriately. Same time, we don't want it to be where anybody can just show up and object to hundreds of books just to try to throw sand in the gears. That is not appropriate. So both from what someone inside the system may do to try to create a political issue, or somebody who is a citizen. Look, every citizen, regardless of if you have kids, has an interest because you pay taxes for the schools and all that. But to just go in there and say, oh, these 200 books or whatever, there's got to be some limits to how that process works. So I think that's what we're looking for, is to just make this something that is sensible and coherent, preserve the parents' rights, of course, on making sure that the material is appropriate, but not trying to incentivize frivolous challenges, not trying to incentivize people. There was one teacher that papered over every book in the classroom and said, oh, the state doesn't want you to have books. That's a lie, okay? We know that. So that type of behavior is not professional and it's not appropriate. All right, thanks everybody. God bless.